Alright. Hi, my name's Chris. Welcome to Expert Accessories, and this is how you put our shit together.
Not gonna lie. I love that. Brian missed it.
Yeah, you'll start hitting some points. The factory front tube brace assembly, you'll remove the 4 bolts, one on each side of the control arm sway bar linkage and one on the front of the cross frame. With ours, each truck is differently. M10 bolt mounting points and drill those out. I believe 30 seconds or larger, just a little bit bigger to accommodate for your M10 bolts. This hole for your M10 bolts to be threaded through. You generally want to pick somewhere that's going to be covered up by the mounting bracket after it's been bolted together. I chose to go with right kind of in between the holes here. We'll use a punch to mark where we're going to drill our hole, and then we'll drill that out to 7/8. So wrap your wire around the end of your bolt, 5-6 times, 1/4 inch or so, and then you'll take that, twist the head of your wire, you'll fish your wire up through that inch hole you reamed out. Grab your wire, pull that through, and fish your bulb up in there, pull that over to the hole, and then pull that down, and pull your wire off. And then you'll take your M10 O-rings, and you will run those over the end of your bolts. once you get your bolts through, you'll put your bracket over your M10 bolts and you'll use the factory 12mm bolt, and you'll put that back in its factory hole, and then you'll hand tighten your 2 serrated nuts to your M10 bolts just to kind of get your brackets hand tightened and loosely fitted until we get everything mounted up for a final tighten and a final fitting. So now we'll go over to the other side and mount up the same main bracket for the passenger side. Then for your passenger side, you'll go through, you'll remount both of your M10 holes again. You always want to go slightly larger than the head of the bolt. You want to go slightly larger than the stem of your bolt to accommodate for the wire when pulling it through. So as you can see, you leave a little extra on the outside. Passenger side, you'll want to go and mark a hole again, just kind of in between the 2 mounting holes. You want to mark a hole there, and after you mark, before you punch and drill it, you just kind of want to hold your bracket up, do a loose fit, make sure that once your hole's drilled out, it's going to be completely covered by your bracket. That way you don't have any exposed holes on your frame. After that, you want to go and take one of your M10 rubber washers, rubber O-rings, M10 O-ring, as it calls out on your instruction sheet. Don't worry, just throw that on the floor. That's not important right now. Then you'll want to grab, put one on each of your bolts that you threaded through there. Now that that's done, you can kind of loose fit your bracket up. You can use one of the factory M12 bolts, or at least use one of the factory 12mm bolts that came out of your factory tube brace that we removed earlier. And just kind of hand tighten everything down. Get it kind of loose fitted again until we get the bumper fully installed, and then we'll go through and do a final torque down of everything where it needs to be. So you'll go with your front vertical brace and you'll run your M10. Throw that down there. You'll mount that up with your 4 M10s and your 4 serrated nuts. So yeah, so you want to kind of just hand tighten everything down right now, so it's all hand tight and loosely fitted till the end. We'll go over and do the driver's side. Mount your vertical brace for the DD51T front bumpers. You're going to want to make sure that that vertical brace sits on the outside of your main bracket. You'll kind of see that in your instruction sheet, so just kind of pay attention to that. Something easy to kind of pass by as you're doing it. So you'll remove this bolt from right above the steering boot here. You'll remove this bolt, and then you'll run your driver side stabilizer strap up through right here. You just kind of want to make sure you're getting that first hole lined up. Again, this is just kind of get it fitted. Now, I'm intentionally doing this the harder way, but if you, for ease of use, if you want to make this as easy as possible, you actually want to go inside your truck and turn your wheels to the one side so that it compresses your boot all the way down. That'll give you the best ease of access. But in the event that you don't have that opportunity, I'm doing it without, just so you can see it can be done. Through your driver's side stabilizer strap and vertical brace here. Getting that to fit. Again, hand tightening everything until the very end, and we'll go through and do a final tightening. So again, the front passenger side, you'll remove that M12 on the passenger side from your front cross member to get your stabilizer strap mounted up there, and then you will fit that back in there. Again, all done by hand. So you'll want to run your passenger side stabilizer strap and put that bolt back in to the side of to the end bolt of your front cross member, and then you'll want to run your M10 and through your vertical brace through your stabilizer strap and tighten that down by hand with your serrated nut. There we go. So then you will put your front cross member on with your, again, M10s and your serrated M10 nuts, tightening it all by hand. And don't be alarmed if there's a small gap in between on one and or either side of your cross member, because after everything's tightened down, that cross member really kind of sucks it all in. So then you'll put your 4 M10s in, you'll tighten those all down by hand, getting your front cross member on there. Again, don't be alarmed if there's any kind of gap on one end or either side. Once you get the bumper fitted and you go through and do a final tightening, everything will kind of suck in together, and this front cross member is a really big help for that, keeping everything sucked in tight and neat. So once you get everything kind of loosely hand tightened and fitted on here, you'll want to take and have either somebody help you, or if you, again, a jack and a jack stand or just a jack, you'll want to lift your bumper and you'll want to set it so that the inside of your bumper goes to the inside of the vertical brace here. And then you'll want to make sure your 2 weld nuts are lined up, and you'll want to hand tighten in your M12 by 175s here. You'll want to hand tighten those in until they're relatively tight, so that way you can get all 4 threaded in. Once you do that, you're going to want to go in and torque down the 4 bolts to your bumper, and then from there we'll go around and get everything kind of torqued down and squared up. That way, we always try to start with our bumper first, getting that torqued down, just so we have an opportunity to straighten out our bumper to make sure it looks level from the outside of the truck. because again, every truck is different. There is no truck that you kind of run into that's the same, unfortunately. All right, and then now we'll go through and we'll kind of get everything torqued down.